No. We are working literally fucking 24/7. Would you ever date an OnlyFans girl?
How do you not get hard? Like, in and out, you know?
Women offer so much more than just their bodies and their looks. And
No, they don't.
Shut the fuck up.
It's kind of like when your dad left you when you were younger, okay? You know, he went to the store and he didn't come back. All right, we're gonna cut the shit. We're not here to tell you that this is gonna be consistent. We're not here to tell you that we've been gone for a while and we're back now, but we're back. So I hope you just enjoy Enzo's chest story. We're not here to tell you that we're gonna be consistent, but we're here, okay? It's kind of like when your dad left you when you were younger, okay? You know, he went to the store and he didn't come back. And then a few years later, he showed back at your house and he wants to start where he left off. That's where we're at. We're just going to start where we left off. We have the motherfucking Buckalao, HANMIN. We have Lord Enzo, my roommate, my lover, my therapist.
Holy shit.
Yeah, jump off the bridge. You know, Lorenzo is kind of like a waste of air. You know, he just like takes up the air in the vicinity.
I wish you fake as fitness influencers. We're just gonna get into it
right away. Lorenzo, this is gonna be an interesting pod because Lorenzo hates the fitness industry. Me and HANMIN are both in the fitness industry.
I don't like the fitness industry either, but
we're
here. We're here.
You don't claim it?
No, I don't claim it at all.
No.
Fuck fitness. Fuck this. I'm just gonna be a fucking NPC streamer, TikToker. Yum.
Sounds like all of LA.
Yeah, bro. If I could make money doing that shit, would you actually do it?
Hell
if you make
no.
money?
I have standards.
Would you do it if you could make money from it?
Streaming?
Like good money? No, like
No,
the
that's not
NPC
streaming.
stream.
Huh?
Like NPC stream, like yum.
Oh hell no.
So is OnlyFans content? No. Let's just say that.
I don't think it's content.
Perfect.
I have no comment.
HANMIN shoots OnlyFans, so you can't say.
I used to. I don't do it as much now.
That's
but it
cap.
used to
You
be
do it under the radar. Don't lie.
I actually haven't done one since probably the summer.
Do you do like the triple X ones? Like
No, I haven't gotten to that point.
No,
I've done full nude, but like no,
Oh.
no in and out. You know.
All right, HANMIN, welcome to the show. We're excited to have you.
Thanks for
We're
having
excited to pick your brain a little bit. You're obviously been in the content creation space for a good while. He's been here since like the beginning of Ever Forward, the Ape Athletics sort of stuff. Like it's just pretty crazy to see that evolution. So like I know you started with skate stuff, skateboarding. I think that was kind of like what YouTube started off, right? It was like skate videos and like prank videos.
It was like it's kind of like what like TikTok is doing now. Like YouTube was like just for those like viral videos. Now it's like everybody's on YouTube, everyone's on TikTok, Instagram. But
let's start off with YouTube. We'll start off with something different because this is a very interesting platform that me and Lorenzo fucking hate.
I love it now.
No. We hate to love it. We love to hate it.
No, I love it.
Shut your bitch. When you have a viral video, then you'll love it.
Okay, December 4th.
I'm
just
waiting.
Watch.
I've
just
been
watch.
waiting. What do you think about the current climate of YouTube and YouTubers and from where we came from a few years ago?
it's so fucking saturated. But to this day, I don't fucking know the whole YouTube algorithm. I think that's the only one that's like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Because like now it's like everyone is saying that YouTube is the place to go, especially with like shorts. And then I guess like long form is coming back or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I think nobody understands what's going on. Lorenzo got Mr. Beast's manager to come to his
creative director
to come to his where he works at, and they give him like a crash course and like all this stuff.
It was a full week of YouTube, so
like YouTube University.
I've been in the like content space for like 4 years now. I was in the gaming space for like the last 10 years, but this is the first time that I was like, oh shit, like I know how to do YouTube now, and I've been trying to tell Johnny. And Johnny, just like his other fellow fitness influencers, very, very stubborn. But the difference between him and other fitness influencers, he's actually creative.
True.
So I try to tell him the do's and don'ts, but he's very adamant, like, this is what I have to do.
Let me hear him then.
Oh, the what?
The do's and don'ts.
Oh, the do's. Oh, well.
Oh, the secrets. Unless it's off camera.
It's a little NDA. We can have an offline chat.
Yeah.
But
I'm just waiting until he posts his YouTube video so that way I can see. And then if it takes off, then I'll take it. It's not like I've been telling you to fuck off. Like I've been listening to the advice that you've been giving me for the videos. Yes, I have. You're in, like you gave me a breakdown. I changed that. I changed this. It's just the thing is that like I just love making videos. So like he would come in and be like, "Why are you making this video? Like it's pointless." And I'm like, I just like making videos. It's just an interesting kind of. It's an interesting playing field that I don't think a lot of people understand. Most people understand.
I didn't understand.
So
forever.
like, because like even the bigger channels, like it started off with vlogs, or it started off, the origin was like the skate and the pranks, and like evolved into like the vlogs, and then now it's like this weird combination of like you have to be a Jesse James Wist to take off, but then like Sam Solik is here now and he's like doing these hour fucking long just talking videos and like it's blowing up. So it's like, where, like, what is the platform? Like, where is it going?
I feel like there's more Jesse Jameses than Sam Solik's.
Of course,
like Sam Solik is an anomaly that when people say, "Well, the rise of Sam Solik," I'm like, everything he does is because he can do. He has a cult following. People like that can do that.
To be honest, I have no idea who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, he's like,
You're not on the depressive side of fitness
Maybe.
content then. I am. the super set.
Oh my god.
he's like, you know how when Andrew Tate took off, he was like on everybody's feed all the time. That's how Sam Solik is. Like he's just like, it's crazy. Every time I go on fucking Instagram, he's always on there. He's literally just a big jacked bodybuilder dude, and he's just like, he just talks for like 45 minutes in his vlog. It's like, this is why I live. This is
There's
why
no
I do
editing,
it. Very
thumbnail
monotone.
song.
Like, yeah, it's just terrible. So anyway, does any part of you want to be on YouTube?
YouTube was always kind of like the dream,
Yeah.
like the dream, like one to get on. Cause like I know, like once you're on there, and like, cause like the subscribers that you get on there are like the most loyal compared to like any other platform. So it's like being able to build that out, it would have been like amazing. To this day, I watch so much YouTube just to get like, just learn.
Yeah, you're one of the few creatives I feel like that does mostly behind camera, but I feel like you genuinely like to be in front of camera too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you like do like your TikTok stuff and like you genuinely like that sort of side of it.
Yeah. It's funny how like Buckloud came about, cause like, there's this prank channel. They're called like Onish Pranks or something. He does like voice impersonation. So he'll like prank call like a Chinese restaurant or something, and like he'll do an Asian voice, like Indian voice, whatever. And Buckloud actually origin is from that, but like we kind of spell it differently.
Yeah.
But I'm also actually Asian. He's not. So I actually reached out to him and be like, hey, like I don't know if you mind me using this, but I was like, he's never responded. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. But one of my friends back in LA, he used to vlog, like daily vlog and just like normal vlogs. He was very good. And then we all had a trip to Hawaii, and then we were waiting for a friend to get off a phone, like a meeting. So, cause like we had to go get dinner and stuff, but I was like bored. So like, I looked at my friend, I'll go, hey, you want a bit for your vlog? He goes, sure. So took my shirt off, put on an apron, and started going at a pineapple for 20 minutes, just straight in an Asian voice. Somehow improvised the whole thing, and it became like this whole like character.
What the fuck?
So it became like a whole character in his vlogs for a little bit. Then I was like, let me just bring it to like my platform and just see how it does. And like that's when I started doing the interviews. Didn't think of anything. I was like, okay, let's just do it just to see. First one, I think 500,000 views, something like that. And then it just kept going. Like it was like averaging 300,000 to 500,000 views.
Damn.
And then I think my biggest one right now is like on Facebook, like 9 million views or something like that. So I'm
God,
like,
that's crazy.
Facebook's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
definitely is.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Right.
I've always liked being on the like entertainment side of like all of it. Like, yes, I love like the video creation, like all the other stuff, but like back then, like I would say like I didn't think I was funny, but then like when I started doing this, like how people reacted to, I'm like, oh shit, like I can actually kind of do this. It got to the point where I almost like copyrighted the name and everything. I was gonna make merch.
Oh shit.
Because it got to that point where like I started like going live on TikTok and stuff, just like using the voice, and sometimes I'll like change to my regular voice, and people would think that was like my actual voice. And then it became like a daily like or like a nightly thing I'd get on TikTok, and like I'd be like, oh, what's up, Shrimp Nation? Oh my God. So it was like I had like a whole thing called Shrimp Nation.
Yeah.
So it was like this whole thing. I was gonna make shirts that said that and everything, but
Does any part of you want to like go into that a lot more, or like maybe try to turn that into something, or are you like pretty set on like what you're doing right now?
at the time, yes. Now it's like I feel like I have a different goal, especially with we'll probably get into it later, but like we have like the production team now, and we're trying to do bigger things with that. And then like straight away from like all the influencer stuff, that's another topic we can talk about. But at the time, yes, because it was crazy. Like at that time, I was doing so much. I was posting for Bucklow, I think 6 times a day, or 6 times a week, not 6 times a day, 6 times a week. I was posting 1 YouTube video for me every week, and I was editing 3 to 5 YouTube videos for clients.
Shit.
So I was like just going at it every single day. I was probably getting maybe like 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and then I was just like just routine, like go, let's say like, I think that at that point I stopped really kind of like working out for a little bit too, because it was like wake up, go shoot with the client, come back, maybe go film something for Bucklow, come back, edit. And then I'm up till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then just repeat that like the next morning.
Bro, that's
so like
insane.
I got that was that yeah, towards the beginning of 2022, I got so burnt out. It got to the point where I'm like, I didn't want to hold the camera anymore. It was bad.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, I don't know if I can do this like just constant like every single day. Like I was. I think I went, Bucklow lasted from December of 2021 to, I would say maybe like May or June of 2022. So it was like a very short period of time, like where it just like kind of blew up.
Yeah.
And it was a thing. But like looking back at it now, it's like I've talked to this with some of my friends, but like Bucklow was almost like, in the beginning at least, because I'm a lot more aware of it, it was more of like my like escape from like everything, almost like escape from like reality, or like if I was going through something, that was like my way of almost like being my authentic self.
Yeah.
So it was like it was almost like my like trauma. That's where all my trauma was going, like through like obviously the sarcastic acts and like skits and everything. So
That's the outlet.
now it's like, cause like I would say 99% of it's all improvised. I don't script anything.
Oh shit.
So like yeah, and 80% of the girls are random. Also.
Oh really?
Yeah, we would go to
shit.
UCLA or USC, and I would just ask girls and be like, "Hey, would you want to be interviewed like for this thing?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, sure."
That's crazy.
So,
I thought you knew all those girls like prior.
you know, unless they're tagged,
Yeah.
then I don't know.
That's crazy.
But yeah, now it's like I look back at it, I'm like, shit, like I don't even know how I came up with half of this shit. I'll show you some later.
Yeah,
but, like,
I'm very
like
interested.
we would go to like, let's say like a restaurant or like an ice cream place and be like, hey, like film this real quick, and I'll just like go off just like reading the menu, and that's how like the vlog would like just come about, and it's like, okay, we're good for today.
It just like evolved.
Yeah,
Into this
so it's like
thing.
that was almost like the not the gist, but like most of just like LA like got me into the content of like I'm surrounded by cameras so much. I was like, okay, like I can be in front of the camera, cause like sometimes like even being behind the camera, I get asked questions. So I'm like, okay, I gotta answer these, and like Bucklow's become like a thing where like you probably just like in general, like even in our group chats or something or in person, like I'm very fast at responding or coming back with something.
Yeah.
Because I had to do that with Bucklow, because I'm like, I don't know what someone's gonna say. I was like, I have to react like that.
Yeah.
So like whenever I come back for somebody, it's like that.
Yeah.
That's me with streaming. Anytime
Yeah.
I'm dealing with kids online, like anything you'll say, I have a response for you.
Yeah.
It's, I feel like you have to, like in those lobbies, like people are just fucking assholes. So you
Yeah.
have to just like
Yeah.
rip them. But it's like, it just goes to show that the creativity is a muscle, just like anything else, right? Like the more you practice at it, the better you get. Like you said, like you didn't want to be in front of camera. You were really shy. You were like, I think we were all kind of like that at one point. So it's like, the more you fucking do it, the more you put yourself in front of a camera and turn it on and start talking, like the better that you get at it. And so I think that's really important for people that want to get into it, or like, I don't know, even for me, like I put shit off for so long because I was so worried about what everybody thought. I was like, I love filming YouTube. I want to be on YouTube, but like, are people going to like it? Do they care?
Yeah.
Like all that. And so like, I just fucking waited and waited.
The one thing I tell myself and I tell other people is like, the more you think about it, the less you're gonna do.
Yep.
So it was like, like you're gonna overthink it, you're not gonna do it. So I was like, stop thinking about it, just go do it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Stop overthinking.
why is Johnny an
and just create.
overthinker?
That's crazy.
Oh, it's even on his hat too. So
Oh, is it really?
use code Lord Enzo by the way.
Oh, true.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nice little segment.
Yeah. No, I had to. I had to put it on there because it was like always growing up, man. Like if I was just consistent, like I'd be in a way different place now. So it's now I wouldn't be so worried about the fucking algorithms and fucking making shit. That's the thing. Like, it's like I make shit because I like it, but then I also like you have to cater almost now because like otherwise it doesn't pop off or it doesn't do well. Or like you have to think about where it's gonna go, and it has to be so much of like more of a business as opposed to like just something I love to do. You know?
Yeah.
Which is like shitty. But anyway, Hanmin, I think the cool thing about what you do is like you're very creator centric, if that's the word. Like you're very in an industry that's like so gatekeepy and like to themselves. Like you're all about bringing creatives together, and like I think that's one thing that I really love to do. Like, why is that so important to you?
So to preface a little bit, I mean, Johnny already knows, but I have, I guess we call it the Creators Getaway, which is like a retreat that so the first one we actually hosted this past July. We actually have one coming January. But the reason I created something like that was because like when I started off, like no one was really doing social media at the time, so it was like I kind of had to figure it out. So it was like a lot of trial and error. Cause like I was like, I guess like YouTube was like the only like platform that I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can look up something here. But like most of the time it was just like, all experience. I had to like go out, figure it out. Like, how does this work? And nowadays, like obviously like content's so saturated, but with so much like going on, it's like, how do you kind of like learn and just like do your thing? Obviously everything's online, but like I wanted to create a community because I didn't have one, but to like show like there's people who are trying to do this, who already kind of like made it, like who are beginners but like are still learning. But I just want to have people who are like obviously like-minded and just like who are willing to create, collaborate, network, like want to better like themselves and everybody else. So that's like the whole reason for all that.
Yeah, I think it's so important, dude. Like like I said, like it's so gatekeepy, like to itself, like keeping, I don't know, like we were talking about rates yesterday, you know, and like,
Yeah.
I'm just so like, hey, this is, you know, what I make, or this, and so like, I think it's important to like educate people that are not, or like trying to come up, or like, cause like, even me, when I started too, is kind of the same thing. Like I didn't know, I think that's why I moved here too, is cause like, I couldn't find my people. I couldn't like learn from people. There wasn't anybody pushing me. So I was like, oh, maybe in Houston there'll like be more people around to like help me out or push me in different areas. And like, you were so, I remember I DM'd you or said like, are there any spots left in the chat? And you're like right away, like, yeah, of course, like hop in or whatever, like sent me the link, and I was like, oh shit, like this is crazy, and got invited to like dinner right away. So it was just like a really cool experience. And like, I think it's awesome. I think more people need to do that, where they're like bringing creatives together and like doing things.
I feel like just in our industry in general, there's not much of that. Like you said, like people like to gatekeep unless, or like, oh, you have to go buy this course or like something. But like, I get asked very often whether it's like pricing or like, how do you shoot with this person or like something. I'm like, I don't gatekeep. Like, what's the point of gatekeeping like that? Like, even like back then, maybe like when it came to like, oh, presets or like LUTs, maybe like, because people always ask me about like my videos, like colors, but I'm like, oh, this is how I kind of do it. Maybe this is like the LUT I use, whatever. But like, if it comes to like whether it's like creative or business, I'll tell you. It's like I don't have any secrets to keep. Like, what's the point of doing that?
I think that's a good way to go about it though, because like, one, you're building more relationships with people. People are gonna fuck with you way more if you're gonna help them out and like go out of your way, and like it's just such an important aspect of everything that we do. And so I don't know, it's just like a weird space. Like I've definitely DM'd people like, hey, can you help me out with this? And they like leave me on red or like don't answer my question. I'm like, okay, fuck you. Like, all right, that's dope. Thanks for helping me out. But so you started a production company. That's new. When did you start it? And like, I guess why? Like, what was the?
So my LLC or my entity has always been Essence Production. So I don't know, I'm trying to think how long ago. Well, I've been doing this full time for a little over 4 years now.
Nice.
But I think when we started legitly doing it was maybe 2 years, 3 years. But it got to the point where I'm like, okay, like I've worked with so many people in the past like 4 years, like, and then it's got to the point where like there's been like opportunities where I'm like, okay, I can't do this by myself. Like last year I ended up working with, I think between 3 to 5 like clients, and I was like, one of them was like a very heavy client. We were doing 150 reels a month, talking heads.
Jesus.
But I mean, she was paying very well for that.
Yeah.
But it's like I can't handle all that in a month.
That's crazy.
So like I started delegating that to somebody, and then I had other YouTube videos to do. So I was like doing that, whether it's pictures, and then at the time some OnlyFans stuff, and then so all that.
HANMIN's
so
a G.
so like trying to do all that like by yourself, it's like you're gonna just burn yourself down. Like you already know how that feels. So
It fucking sucks, dude.
it got to the point where I'm like, okay, like I need to start doing a team, but this is before like our legit team. So I started like outsourcing stuff like to some friends, and then it got to the point where like, okay, clients want something different. Like it like changed with like the reels, like you know how they do captions and not the B-roll, like how it all that shit comes about.
Captions changing colors now.
Yeah, so it's like there was like a lot of like different communication things going on. So it's like, okay, like I'm just like going insane trying to do all this. So like I ended up actually getting rid of some of those clients, kind of like firing my friends a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then recently, one of our friends who's part of the team, Jeremy Thomas, I don't know if you know Jeremy Visuals, he worked with. He's based in Colorado, and he actually when was it? Sometime I think in the summer, I believe. No, maybe like springtime. He hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I was with this company. I think I've kind of like outgrown them, and I'm thinking about actually coming to LA. What do you think about that?" I'm like, "Hey, like, there's room out here. If you want to come out here, let's try to do something." And we ended up getting on a call, and we just started talking about things. It's like, oh, like what companies do you think we can like work together with, like just like these bigger companies. And then it was funny because like before then, when I was still living here, beginning of this year in Houston, Andy and Christian and I tried to do like a whole like, not like I guess team, yes, but like we were trying to like collaborate on different things. But it just we were so busy with our other clients that it was like, okay, like it just fell through.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to that call, I ended up so we're like, that gave me the idea of like the production team again. I was like, okay, I'm on this call with Jeremy. Let's call my friend Matt, who lives in Canada. To preface him a little bit, I met him in January, and then he started doing content. He came out here a couple of times, and then he actually quit his 9 to 5, and now he does content full time. But he's
That's dope.
he's like learned very fast. I think it's because he's been around all of us too. So we called him up, be like, hey, do you want to be part of this? And then it just became like a whole thing. Like we ended up calling like Andy, and then we called Christian and be like, do you guys all want to do this? And then let's fucking do it. And then we ended up like from there on, we started getting on calls every week, and we were like, what do we want to do? Who do we want to pitch? Like, how do we want to do this? And at the time, Christian was working with a company in Vegas, and basically we all went out to Vegas, be like, okay, we have this whole concept. We worked on this concept, I think, for a month.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's go to Vegas, let's do this, because we have the opportunity and the accessibility to do it. So we went out there for, I think, 4 or 5 days, and we shot 2 full production days. Some like problems arose, but we went through it, and then we created the video that, I don't know if you've seen it now. Yeah, like we just became like this whole thing, and now we're out here doing 2 campaigns that were not expected to happen. And like it's cool to like be like in that scene where like where it's not like just one of us now, it's like all of us collectively like doing something together.
Yeah.
It's like everybody that we love.
Yeah, HANMIN's fucking bouncing everywhere. Every time I see you, you're somewhere else, dude. LA, here, back and forth.
It's cool to like be in that position now, because like even like when I started content, like doing like the travel videography was like the dream. Like when it was the time like Sam Kohler and Matt Cum, or like all of them were doing that, and now it's like, oh, like I'm able to kind of like do that. Like even like going to Peru, I did my first Airbnb collab. Yeah. So that was like really cool. It's like, oh, it's like, oh shit, I can actually do this now.
That's dope.
So
that production company was just the next evolution, right? So it's like you're doing freelance, you're building up your network, you're meeting people, you're doing all this, and so it's doing it now at a scale that's bigger, or like giving that business to like the you know, company and all that stuff.
Yeah, and you understand this now because like it's been like what 4 years of like shooting for influencers, or like TikTokers or something, and it's like, one, you understand this, like one, they're inconsistent. 2, some of them don't know how to pay at all, and
Most
3,
of them.
and And 3 is like, oh, you have this big following, but like, what does this following offer?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Exposure,
exposure,
baby.
all that bullshit. I'm not. If you guys want me to get into that, we can get.
Fuck
into
yeah, let's get into it.
But it's like, obviously, like, I mean, Johnny has a freaking shirt that says, "We don't do shit for free." Word for word.
Anti-working for free, baby.
Anti-working for free, but it's just like influencers are just like.
I think it's interesting the way that people perceive what we do, and the what they think versus what we actually do. And that's been a very interesting thing to me over the past 2-3 years that I've been filming. It's like people really don't understand what goes into this shit. Mm-hmm. Like they don't understand like so much shit takes time, right? Like thinking about the concepts, the pre-production, like the use of our equipment that we're running down, like all of this shit that like I don't know, you just don't take into account when you're like freelancing and stuff. And I think influencers are the fucking worst because they think that because they have a big following and because they are on a fucking pedestal that they don't have to pay or they don't have to value what we do or they're just and look at Lorenzo, he's fucking about to burst right now.
I can go into this too. It's like let's compare like online coaches here. It's like online coaches have a price either whether it's like monthly or like you have a contract where you're paying like a 6-month program or like a year program. Where it's like, okay, like these programs are like, let's say like $7,000, $8,000. They don't bat an eye. But when it comes to like a creator, it's like you charge the same price. They're like, you charge that much?
It's wild.
I'm like, it's a service. It's the same thing for online coaching. We're doing a service.
Yes.
And it's like, do you
want to get into
that?
Time.
So I have like I'm just coming from the creative director and influencer perspective. I'm not the camera guy. I'm not the photographer. I'm not.
Yeah, but you understand it. You've seen it.
I definitely. I understand all the tech that goes around it, the logistics around it.
How long this shit takes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the problem is like we are mad at the 1%, right, of people who have like more than 100K followers, 500K, 1 million plus, whatever. But then the people who. Like when I was starting streaming and I was looking for a YouTuber, and I remember I told Johnny like for each one of my like stream edits, like taking clips from my like video game streams and whatever, to make like a 8 to 12 minute video, that was probably going to cost me between $25 and $30. But then when I told that to Johnny, he's like $25, $30. And so like, I think the problem is like for 99.99% of creators or influencers or whatever, they're not making what the half of what Alpha Land is making in terms of like they don't have codes, like people are not using their codes. Like most streamers, I'm in the top 0.8% of Twitch streamers, but I'm only making enough to pay like my car and my groceries and stuff like that. So it's like anywhere between like $300 to $500. So that's the top 1% to 0.75% of all Twitch. The problem is when 99.99% of people are making way less than that, how can they justify? They want to grow big, right? But how can they justify paying $150 for a short or $100 or $200 for a TikTok? Not to say that the work is not being put in, because again, the problem is the social media platforms are making billions and billions of dollars, but then the people who are actually making good content are making between. I mean, I've seen people who get like 30 million plus views on YouTube, but then they have like $20 to their payout. So it's like, it all goes back to like just overall business 101, like your P&L. If I'm taking out money, but I'm not getting any money, where does the money come from? I get it, but I also understand from like the majority of the influencers that are, maybe because I'm in the different spectrum with you guys in terms of your type of clientele and your type of demographics. I feel like the fitness space, similar to the gaming space, like there's a lot of disposable income for the top people.
Yeah.
But for the people who are like the everyday Joe Blows, there's no like. I
yeah,
can't
but
afford.
then they need to stop fucking acting like they got crazy money.
No.
Because all this flexing, I got a bunch of fucking money. I'm sponsored by Young LA.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck you. Then you're gonna pay for what I'm doing and my services. But that's like, what's up, Christian?
That's the 1% though. Like how many people are actually?
No. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like you're saying there needs to be a range for the people that aren't making that much money.
Yeah.
but they're flexing, and then they want these like high production Nike fucking
fuck those
videos,
people.
and then they want to pay
Stop working
$100
those people.
for it. So
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
the
where
one who
that's where the conversation
Yeah,
is.
it's the one I'm like, I'm better than anybody else. Got this whole ego. And like this
But I'll say though,
entitlement.
it's crazy in the fitness space of how small the following actually is, and the egos are just
Oh my
insane. And then I
God.
look at like take Ninja from like Fortnite. Motherfucker has like 30. He got a $30 million deal from Microsoft when Mixer was a thing, and then man's got hundreds of thousands of millions of followers across not just one platform, but multiple, all his platforms, and the egos don't even match up. That's what I'm trying to understand from. That's why I stopped going to Alpha Land. I literally emailed them. I was like, "Hey, I'm in the military and I'm PCSing, which is like you're going to like another another base." And they're like, "Oh, thank you for your service." I was like, "Yeah, fuck you. Give me my fucking $100 back."
Shit.
Tired of it.
Oh man, that's why I used to just go in the morning because no one's ever there.
Oh
in
yeah,
the morning.
the 5 to 9 a.m. perfect time. Yeah.
No, it's great. Yeah, I think the egos are just absolutely insane. I think, that's obviously a conversation for the lower, but we're talking about like when people have money. You are
But
dealing
what
with
is have money like?
You're-
I
when you're
don't
dealing with
equate
people-
like followers to bank
No, of
accounts.
course not. I don't think you
Yeah,
should
yeah,
at all.
no.
But I'm saying for like people that are running successful coaching businesses, or people that are.
Wait, you don't want to make 10K a month?
I would love to make 10K a month. That'd be great. So it's like those type of people, and just like you said, there's levels, right? So like if you are not making much of money, you're down here, but you want, production, you're gonna have to settle for someone maybe that's starting out, or maybe that's free, like just getting into freelancing, as opposed to someone that's been doing this for a very long time and kind of knows what they're doing and like is really good at it, and you're paying them, or you want to pay them like down here at this level. So it's like people, I think that's when a conversation that just needs to be like normalized. Like, all right, what are these kind of like rates, like rate ranges, or like what does it need to be around that's like good, because we've both been at points where like we're getting fucked, or like you're on the like border of not wanting to hold a camera anymore because you're just like, I'm so burnt out.
Yeah, and I mean I get it too. Like I know where you're coming from because like yes, it's like the top. Like I like one of like the TikTokers that I work with. They're all like 2 million, 3 million plus, and they're making a very good living.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And then, but it's like when we're first starting out, we have to have a certain rate. It's like I was doing what 200, 250 per edit. Now it's like that's double or triple that price. But like obviously we still have to start off somewhere. They have to start off somewhere too. But it's like, yeah, you're right. Like we have to find that middle ground of like who does what for like this price and like all that. But
yeah, I think it's a lack of understanding and wanting to understand what it is that we actually do. I think that's the issue, right? Like people don't care to learn or like actually know what goes into like, hey, this edit takes me 15 hours. Like it doesn't just fucking pop out of the computer.
But that's the thing. Like for me, in my perspective, I mean, I don't edit like how I used to, but the reason why I can respect it and respect the time is because I've done it myself.
Yeah.
So like that's an important thing.
Yeah, there are other creators or influencers who like get it and they're like, yeah, take your time. Like those ones like
they're great.
They're freaking great.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes like I even had one client. She's like, "Oh, just come film it for me. I'll just edit the video." I'm like, "Okay, say less." But she like understands. She's like, "Now I know like what you have to go through because like she never edited it before." She's like, "Now I get it." So it's like, "Oh, now you know."
Well, everyone
why.
thinks like CapCut is like the only like that's like just CapCut it.
Yeah.
So
That's all you got to do.
just you can't just use AI. Like no, like what?
Make me a 30-minute video.
How long do your video effects video usually take to edit?
8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
It's
So-
insane. It's fucking insane. And
For 30 seconds or even less. Like back in like 2019, 2020, it was like we were like editing like 24, 48 hour turnarounds for like edits, which was crazy at the time. And like it was just like that was almost like your reputation. It's like how fast can you get something out and how good is it while like having that fast turnaround time. So
Yeah.
like everyone had that reputation, and it's like if you kind of like lacked that or had like bad communication, it was like, oh, he's not it. We got somebody better
Yeah.
who can come around. So I mean, to this day, like almost that reputation still kind of sticks around. It's like who can get this better, who can get this out pretty quick with the same quality.
Yeah.
But
you really have to love this shit. You really do. I was watching one of your videos earlier where you're
Which
like
one?
the one where you're like, I don't know if you're actually doing a podcast or you just had a mic set up and you were talking, but you're like, I fucking love this shit. And I think it's so important, dude, because
when I
like
call people out.
yeah, I think it's so fucking important because like You really do. Like it's so easy to get burnt
'Cause,
out.
Like
It's,
when Alphaland like first started, it was like everybody from like different states were coming out here. Just like, oh, like I can pick up a camera and do this. Like, oh, I can make money.
bro,
Like,
everybody has a camera.
Yeah.
Everybody in Alpha Land has a fucking camera. It's insane.
it's like everybody calls themselves a creator or videographer. I'm like, you just picked up a camera and like you're expecting to get like these higher paying jobs. I'm like,
Yeah.
you just started. Like, not that I'm giving you shit. I'm kind of giving you shit. But
You
like,
should.
But
We all have
like,
to go through it.
Yeah, but everybody's coming out here for the money and not like for the actual like love of it. So that's where I was like, I'm so sick of seeing this shit. Like,
That's social media in general. Yep. It sucks. That's what I was saying earlier. Like being too creative in your concepts
yeah.
doesn't adhere to the algorithm on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, and it sucks.
I'm gonna start editing on my phone. Fuck this, man.
Yeah, you're doing the most, bro. CapCut.
I'm done. Again, it's going back to like loving this, right? Like, because you're editing for other people, you're doing these long projects, but then you're not done after that. Then you're doing your shit. You're doing whatever content you want to do. You're filming your passion projects. Like, there's just so much. It's like never ending. So it's like genuinely enjoying, and that's something I struggle with a lot. Is like reminding myself to enjoy the process. He fucking hates it. I have a Alexa reminder every week, and it tells me to enjoy the process. It's like it always comes at like the perfect time where I'm like, this shit fucking sucks. I don't want to do this, whatever. So it's like it constantly reminds me, because it does suck, dude. And like you have to eat shit for a long time for it to work out. But
Yeah, there's been times like where I'm like, damn, would it be just better for me? Like, it's like one of those like when it's like the seasons. Like, obviously you make a little bit less money in like certain seasons, so it's like it gets you thinking sometimes like, oh, like, is this worth doing this? Should I like maybe get a 9 to 5? Like, I'll also like get benefits, but then I'm like, I was like, I didn't come all the way 5 years, 10 years, whatever, just like, oh, just drop this and just go to a 9 to 5. I was like, there's a reason why I started this, and I'm not going to stop it just because I'm like, oh shit, like things aren't going right. Cause like things are not going to go all like right all the time. So and it's just like, you just got to play the game and just figure it out and always figure it out. So
what was your was there a moment where you're like, shit, I really think this is gonna work? Like a specific project or a specific one where you're like, oh fuck, okay, like this is going.
Well, it's crazy how like things came about, because Houston was never a part of the plan.
Same.
Because like from graduating college, going back home, I think I moved back home for a little bit over a year, and then I moved to Colorado first to move back because someone I was working with was going to move there, and he was like, I need a videographer out here. Would you want to come move out here? I'm like, oh, 100%. And he was paying me. I lived with him, and then he was paying me, I think, $1,500 a month, but I quit on him in 2 weeks.
Damn.
Because it was just like, he was one of those people where it's like, it's all about me. Like, you're on my time, kind of like following him around. Like, you're not allowed to work with other clients. And it was just like,
fuck that.
He's
Fuck
like,
you.
he wanted you to be like the creative director, but he was like manipulating everything. He's like overseeing every single thing. And like at that time, yes, like I was still learning how to do video because I was mostly like a photographer. But it's like still, I'm like, holy shit, I can't breathe. So I ended up quitting him in 2 weeks. And then Max is actually a good friend from back home, from like Virginia. And back then, like I was helping out like packing orders for Ape Athletics. I was doing content for them, and then occasionally I would help Max like pack orders, like whenever he was out of town or like whenever there was launches, and I would like help him like film whatever he was like doing a YouTube video. And I think it was like the second week before I quit on the guy, I texted Max. I was like, "Hey, do you think this is a good idea?" And then he was like, basically like, they should have kept you at Ape. They should have just like kind of like paid you, like, cause like I hate to say this, like I don't know like what actually happened, but like after I left Ape, it kind of just like now Ape's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, not even.
So,
I checked the website yesterday. I was like, oh,
Really?
this is still up.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
this domain is available.
I think there was like some lawsuit or something that happened with the business partners too. I don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
But yeah, Max and I were just talking, and I just like I jokingly said to him, I was like, "Let me come like film you again," and we both actually laughed about it. And then like I think I came back like a week later. I was like, "Hey, do you think I can like come film for you?"
You're like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah. But he was like, "Yeah, just fly out here and let's see what you can do." So I flew out here. Like, this is where it comes to the like where I didn't have money. Like I have $500 in my name in my bank account. I was like, I took a one-way flight to Houston. I didn't have my car. I didn't really know anybody besides Max and maybe one other person. Like everybody else was like, oh, like people I've seen on like Instagram and stuff. Like,
What'd your
people
parents
are-
think of this?
Um, my dad was more of a like a traditional Asian parent, so he's like, "You're not gonna make any money out of this. Like, you don't have any like these certifications or qualifications to do this. So how are you gonna do this?" So it was just like I like at that time like I didn't really have the best relationship with my dad because it was just like the only things he was able to talk about was school, money, or jobs, something like that.
Yeah.
But my mom has always been very supportive, and the thing that she said almost 5 years ago was like, "I'd rather you do this now instead of regretting it," and that's still like ingrained in my head. So I'm like, I'm glad she like said that to me because it was like that kind of like pushed me
Yeah.
to go do it. And like after that first year of it, my dad saw how happy it made me, so he's like so supportive of it now.
Awesome. That's cool. That's
Now
awesome.
he like tries to give me a little business advice here. I'm like, hey, I'm the one who owns this.
I took the risk.
But yeah, it's cool to see. And then yeah, I took a one-way flight here in March of 2019. And I think I stayed at like 3 Airbnbs, and then I think a week and a half in, I had a friend of a friend loan me a car, so I had to learn how to drive a stick shift in 30 minutes.
Jesus.
So I drove a stick shift for a whole month, and it just was like this back and forth. And Kelvin was somebody who I just met. Do you know Kelvin?
Yeah.
He was like somebody I looked up to at the time too because he was killing it. And he actually picked me up at the airport. That was like first time ever meeting him. Like I didn't have money, so I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you're doing anything. Would you be cool to pick me up?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, I got you, dude."
That's fucking
And
dope.
he's probably one of the ones who helped me out the most, like when it came to like video stuff and just like business in general.
Yeah.
Because like whenever I was like shooting with Max, we'll do that so, like, either with like Max or Ever Forward, and then every night I would actually come over to Calvin's. He would actually make me dinner, and then we would just edit together, and like I would learn so much from him. And that was just like for a whole month, and then he that's when our like monthly trial ended, and Max and I sat down. He's like, "You've been killing it. Let's continue this." And then Kelvin actually moved into a house. I actually moved in with him for I think 2 or 3 months, and then I went back home, brought my car down, and I was actually able to save some money. And then after those 2 or 3 months, I got my own place, like my very first like apartment, which was cool. And then fast forward a couple months, Max and I stopped working because I think I like wanted to do my own thing. And at the time, I was also like helping Kelvin out because he essentially like we were kind of like creating a team at that time too. So like we were almost like working like very collaboratively like with all these other brands, and it just went from there. And fast forward to was it end of 2019 is when I met Chad, and that was another crazy one because like I met Chad through his girlfriend at the time because I was shooting her for Everforward, and we were just talking. And he was like, "Yeah, if you ever need me for like a shoot, just let me know." And then we actually, I think Kelvin and I used him for a shoot. And then from that day forward, I think we all three of us just started hanging out a lot. And Chad was originally going to fly somebody out from his hometown to come film for Summer's Wedding. And that was the point where, like, okay, like COVID happened. I'm not working with Max anymore. There was a short period of time that a lot of people don't know this. I started working with a social media manager who manages PGA Tour players, like social medias. So I was actually gone for a month. I flew to like 6 different states just filming golf content.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's like they were like promising me like all these things, like, oh, you're gonna get paid well, like you're probably the first ones to do like something like edits, like golf edits,
Yeah.
and all this bullshit. And then I gave them this price, and they're like, oh, I don't think we can do that. Like, I think the minimum was like 4,000 or 5,000 a month. And I was like, what? You guys like these PGA Tour players make so much money. You guys make so much money just handling all these.
Yeah.
And like I've been through like some meetings. I'm like, you can't pay me that much. And I was
You don't
turning
wanna pay
and
me
like
that
like
much.
what you were doing. I was like, or Christian was doing, like turning around the same day. Fuck. So like we're on our feet for 12 hours on the course, and literally that night he's like, hey, can you do this video right now? I'm like,
Holy shit.
fuck that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a time I said fuck that, and that was another point. Like my mental health was just like not it. And then Chad was almost like my, I don't want to say savior, but he basically was like that, like almost like blessing in disguise, because like we became very close. We're still very close to this day. But when he was gonna fly somebody out, I was like, he was like telling me the numbers, and like he was like gonna be staying with him. You're gonna have to pay for his groceries. So I came up to him. I was like, hey, instead of you flying out somebody, and like having them stay with you and having them pay for all this stuff, I was like, hey, why don't I film your summer shredding prep and do it for this price? He was like, okay, I'll get back to you. And then I was like, fuck, he's not going to do it. Because at that time, I was still like a very big overthinker. And 2 days later, he's like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
Damn.
So I was like, fuck, man, that just saved me. Because like at that point, I think I was making maybe $800, $900 a month. And that was just like, thankfully, like rent was only like $850 a month. So that just covered for rent.
Jeez.
And then obviously COVID hit.
Fuck. Oh
So I was like,
God.
fuck. And then, like,
Dun.
but then like Chad and I were still doing like, we started doing like all the home workouts, like whatever, like if we could get to like a gym, if like one of our friends had like a private gym. So we would just like go out and just create content wherever we could. And then that's when everybody started moving here. And then he had like friends. So I started working with all of them. And then business, actually, that's when like business started like popping during
Shit.
COVID, which like COVID was also like a blessing in disguise. And for a little bit too, it was like when COVID started in March, I was like, how the hell do I make money? Because everything was shut down here. And I was like, I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I started like, I don't know if you know, but I started doing clothing for a little bit.
Arrow.
Yeah. So like that whole like COVID season, I was like doing samples. Like I was just like spending this money. I was like, okay, like
Fuck, hopefully it comes
yeah,
back.
yeah, just living like almost like poverty. I'm like, oh, can I do this? So I'm getting like obviously samples are a little bit more expensive, especially because I was doing it through China.
Oh, yeah.
So like, it took me I think 6 months to perfect because I made leggings and shorts, but I made them from scratch. So I didn't release them
Damn.
until September 2020. So from March to September, that whole time I was like working that, but also like once everybody started moving here, I started getting a lot more work. And then that's like when the fitness edits were like the biggest things at the time. So like I was just getting booked back to back for that.
Fuck.
So
Dude,
that
that's
and YouTube
crazy.
and then, yeah, and then I was like, fuck fitness, I'm moving to LA.
How does having like a diverse catalog of like shit you've worked on, like how has that kind of like pushed you to that next level? Because like when Johnny and I were working together for the gaming company that I work with the Houston Outlaws, Johnny, this is like the first time that he was really like big into the gaming. Like he got thrown into the gaming space, never did a gaming edit, never did working with players that don't speak any English. They were all Korean. And then we had like another content group that were all spoke English, but then we had to figure out a way to like, how do we get English speakers and Korean speakers and then merge them together to make really good, compelling content. And so my question is like, do you like being diverse or do you like being super, super niched out? Or what's kind of like your take on it?
I've always liked being diverse because it's like, I don't know if it's just me just being very ADHD. But I'm like, oh, like I like doing this. I like doing this. Like even like right now, it's like I have like the personal client work. I have the production team. I have the creators retreat, and then I feel like I have something else. But it's like I have my hands in so many different things.
I mean, you've done merch, you've done
That
like,
too.
all types of things.
But it's just like, cause like that's also like why it's hard for me to stay full time just with one person, because I feel like that's where my creativity just like goes down. Like, cause there's so much you could do just for one person. So like having these like different aspects of like, oh, I want to do this like in gaming, or I want to do this in merch. It's like it keeps that creative flow going, cause like you can have this idea for like a fitness thing, but you can't have the same idea for like maybe a gaming thing. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I just like doing different things. I hate being very repetitive because it just gets so old for me, and I just get bored of it.
You do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You're a man of many talents. Go ahead.
I get asked so many times, like, how do you do all this? I'm like, honestly, I just love it. It's like, as much as it can be so tiring, I love it. But like, and like we can get into that later. But like, even just like creating the boundaries that I've been able to create now, because like I'm probably more mentally and physically healthier than I've been in the last like 3 years. So
good for you.
That's good, man. I mean, you're checking off the list of things that you want to do. You're getting out. You're exploring different places. You're meeting new people. Like all of the things that you know, even somebody like me aspires to do, right? So it's like, it's super cool. And like, that's the reason I wanted to bring you on, just like pick your brain.
Yeah.
It's cool to see all the different facets of what you do. And I think one of the most interesting ones is the OnlyFans stuff.
Oh,
I want to know more about that.
Oh no.
How did you get into that?
Johnny wants to subscribe to your.
How do you not fall in love every single time?
Dude, that's the question I used to get asked the most, because I used to like, I mean, I still do from time to time, but like when I first started out, I just mainly did photos, videos, because it was like secondary compared to like what I do now. But like I used to, back then, like portrait photography was so big, and the people like I used to be around were like mostly girls anyways. So I was like, oh, let's like shoot, just cause like I just love shooting and I loved like the portrait like look. So like I would just hit up like, it was funny at that time, like, because social media or like Instagram was still coming up. So it was like, oh, like, how do I like search for people? So it was like, models in Houston, models in DC, or whatever. So I'll look through these hashtags. I'll look through locations. Like, it's almost like I was like stalking to like find people to work with. But like, you have to do it at that time because there was no like networks of that. So I was like reaching out to people. I was like, hey, we'd love to shoot with you. Love to shoot with you. And I just like kind of like racked that portfolio up very quickly. And it got to the point where like I see like portrait photographers doing like the lingerie, the bikini kind of things, and I started going to like lakes or like beaches, or like I would like go visit like LA or wherever, and like reach out to the people who will do like bikini shoots. And like it's crazy to say, like some of the girls like that I've done like the lingerie shoots, this is even before like OnlyFans, were very like open and comfortable. Like there's a lot of them, like it was like their first time ever doing shoots like that. So I'm like, what, like you're comfortable doing it with me for the first time? This is like the first time ever meeting them too. So I'm like, obviously like you should have that reputation too. I was like, damn, I'm like, this is weird. And I like at that time I used to get asked so much like, how do you not get hard? Like, oh, like, dude, like, how do you not try to fuck all these girls? I'm like, these are the reasons like why like you're not in this kind of thing. Like the fact that like you still think like this, like obviously we're like still in college, like you fuck boys and all that stuff. But like I never thought of it as like that. It was like for me, like even to this day, like a female's body or even like a male's body, it's almost like an art of expression. You're just like your body, your skin, whatever. And that's how I've had this conversation with I've almost had a heated conversation with my dad about it. He's like, oh, like why are you like shooting all this porn and all this stuff? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There's a very big difference.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, you want to see a lot of in and out, man? But yeah, it was just like it built from there. And then because I was shooting a lot of girls in bikini and lingerie in general, so that almost became, I guess, I hate to say it, but it almost became my thing. Yeah. And I guess like a lot of people like would follow me for that because like, oh, like you're shooting all these very like attractive girls, like they have also big following, but you're also like creating like a very good like picture. So it's like I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was Noel's first OnlyFans thing. But like I shot Noel's first. I don't know if I should. I guess I mean it's. I guess technically it's in Brad's video.
Yeah, everybody knows it.
But like I know I've like shot like a lot of Noel's OnlyFans stuff, and then I don't know if she was the first one. I think we've shot like bikini and all this stuff anyways. So it was just like it just I guess just became a thing. I didn't really know what OnlyFans was, and then. People just started having OnlyFans, but I was just shooting just cause. Like, I didn't really care about OnlyFans. And
there was a demand for it at that point. Like that's when it started to kind of take off. Like every fucking girl. Had
so like I said, like before OnlyFans was a thing, I was already doing it.
Yeah.
So I guess it just became like, oh, he's an OnlyFans photographer, kind of thing. But then like I started working more recent. Like I don't do as much now, but like I started working with like people's like agencies or like managements. Because they would have like a whole OF management team, and they would have like content days. So like I would just go there, like shoot with whoever, and be like, okay, here you go.
Damn. Do you run any for any of them, or is it just the content?
No, just the content. It almost got to the point I actually was gonna make my own management.
Bro.
Yeah, I had like
a good spot to get to.
But I was also it was like more for like the money. I should like at the time because it was like like. All these girls are making. I've already seen all the numbers.
Stupid.
And like,
Stupid.
So stupid.
Stupid, bro.
There is one girl. I'm not gonna say names.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's interesting because it's the same shit on Instagram. Like majority for what they're posting, it's like bikini photos.
Most of my friends who I shot for, it was only like bikini or lingerie.
Yeah.
Like none of them really showed any explicit photos. It was literally what they posted.
And
on
they
social
post
media.
that shit on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what am I doing wrong? And it's like, I've had people ask me, it was like, hey, do you have like a management or do you do this like pretty often? I was like, so that's what it got me thinking. And I was like, oh, like, there's a lot of my friends who aren't with a management or an agency and be like, I kind of like pitched them the idea of like, hey, like, if I create a management, would you want to like come be a part of it? And like a lot of them said yes. So I had like almost like 10 people just to even start off, be like, hey, like, we would love to be a part of this. Like, and some of them actually needed help. So they would actually come and be like, hey, can you like start your management?
Well, yeah, these girls don't know how to run a business. Like a lot of them, right? They're just like posting the pictures and whatever. Like, you know, they need someone to run the chat or like whatever it is. So it's like crazy.
The chat part is like where everybody like struggles with, because like you're talking to somebody, like depending on how many subscribers you have on OnlyFans, like you're talking to so many guys. But like
You have to. That's how you make money.
Would you ever date an OnlyFans girl?
God, I've gotten asked this so many times.
Is he gonna give us the truth?
Yeah, I'll give you the truth. I mean, I personally, like, I was like, I mean, fucking get your bag. I was like, if you're not like doing like sex, I don't care.
Yeah.
If it's like the stuff you post on social media, I was like, fuck, okay. It's not like it's gonna be like a long term thing. A lot of like the friends that I have that do it is for a short term, like, or for like investment into something else. Like, I'm like, yeah, fucking do it. Like, good for you, man. So I like, as long as it doesn't get to that point where like you're just fucking having sex and like showing your ass or like.
Enzo could never. That's why he asks.
Yeah, I mean,
he can't date
I
one.
go like 50-50. It just depends, honestly.
For me, it's just, I don't know. I used to be like, get your bag queen, all that shit for years. And then I realized I was like, you know what? Like, now this is getting like in a deeper rabbit hole. Women offer so much more than just their bodies and their looks. And
No, they don't.
Shut the fuck up.
Cancel
You said
me.
it, not me.
Please cancel me. I get more views.
Drop the mic almost.
If you like spin it, the third leg has to go like under. So, yeah, this way a little bit more.
Houston and LA are hard places to date. I would say that.
So before I moved to Houston, I really wanted a gymfluencer girl. I was like, I'm in love. Like it's like a Hannah. Okay, I wanted a Hannah. Hannah Lee.
Oh God.
I wanted a Hannah, and then I met Hannah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
You need
just have a lot of
stimulation.
followers.
You need stimulation.
Yeah, like I just realized that I don't want a girl that's gonna be sitting on her phone the whole time while like when we go on a date. And I'm like, that's every single one of you guys. Like you just you think you're the shit, and like I most likely can't have an intellectual conversation with you. Can't probably hold a conversation
Well, that's
like
why you
that.
have to be a platinum man.
Yeah.
There's platinum, gold, and bronze. You gotta figure out where you are.
Yeah.
And then diamond.
Let me ask this question then.
Yeah.
Would you rather date somebody who's in the social media space or who's out of the social media space?
Ooh, I used to think in the social media space because like, oh, they'll understand whenever I'm streaming or whenever I'm doing videos, and if girls come into my chat, they'll understand. But then I had that, and I was like, nope, never again.
I want a mid tier. I want a 10 to no mid tier. Follow. I want a 10 to 20K girl. She doesn't have enough followers to think she's the shit, but she has enough to understand what social media is and what I do. That's like the happy medium.
10 to 20K. I feel like
Okay, that's just a fucking general number. I'm not like if she has 21,000, that's not no go.
I don't know. I think putting any number is stupid.
Listen
You're
here,
equating
bucko.
her worth for a fucking number.
He's asking a hypothetical situation of a girl that I would want. I'm saying I want like a mid-tier girl that doesn't have a crazy amount of followers, so she's not a bitch, and I don't want like I don't want her like not on
of course.
I don't want her like not on social media at all, because like I think I don't know.
Why do you want her on social media?
I think because I want her to understand like.
I think she can
Okay,
understand.
here, because my last relationship, like I was so focused on all this shit that I was doing, and I was like editing all the time and like doing social media stuff and like trying or attempting or whatever, and it was always an argument because I was not paying enough attention to her when I was like, all right, I was at my 9 to 5, then I was doing my shit after, then it was like all this. So like I want at least some sort of understanding of what I do or like the purpose of it, right? If you like have no social media, then you don't understand why I do the things
But
that
also
I do.
you suffer balance though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether she understands or not, a girl's still gonna want your attention.
Of course, yeah, of course. I have a bad. That's why I don't have a girlfriend right now because I
Same.
cannot balance any. I can't
It's
even
okay
balance.
to be selfish
Lorenzo
right
gets
now.
fucking mad at me because I don't go out with him.
No. We are working literally fucking 24/7. CurtisCollection.com. Use code Lorenzo. Every single day we're working. I'm like, you know what, Johnny? We deserve a little break for 3 hours of our night. That's not gonna kill us. And what does Johnny do? Oh, I gotta edit in his fucking cave. I'm like, bitch, I'm in there in my fucking cave, and then the other cave over there, and I still find time. So it's all about
Boundaries.
boundaries and priorities. So we're all single here, huh?
Yeah. Did you fall in love with any of the ones that you shot?
Or even almost.
Almost.
God, there's been so many. So like, how many options do I have? No, I'm kidding.
Let me just flip through my roster
Which
really
one?
quick.
I heard him earlier. He's a lover boy. So
Which one has the bigger following? No, I'm kidding. So the funny thing is, before I like started doing this full time, when I still lived back in the East Coast, we actually had somebody shoot for Ape Athletics. I found her like on Instagram or whatever, and reached out to me, hey, like, do you want to shoot for like us, whatever? And she's like, yeah, I'm down. And we ended up shooting. And then this is actually after like I broke up. I think it was like a year or two after I broke up with my ex. This is the first girl I started talking to. She actually made the first move. Like we started like, so we shot whatever. And
ladies,
then,
get on it.
Where do these girls live? Where are
dude,
they?
I should tell you all the
No,
stories.
there's two last night.
Whoa.
They shot their shot first.
Yeah. Yeah, but you just have you're just beautiful, so you
No,
have like unspoken
no,
rhythm.
no,
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
shut
no.
your fucking Puerto Rican
Dude,
ass
I
up.
should
You
tell
have
you.
just unspoken.
I should tell you my recent stories, but we'll go for the first one. But she like I think we started like working out together because like so you know District Barbell.
Yeah.
So like that's where I used to work because that's where like Ape and Number 4 was. So I would be there every day, and I think she started coming because I think I invited her or something, and then we used to get like food afterwards or whatever, and then it got to the point where I think we started hanging out more outside of the gym, and then I think the first time we actually hung out, she came over. And then we would like do like a wine and a movie night.
Damn.
And she fucking made the first move. She kissed me.
What?
And she spent the night.
HANMIN has riz.
Dude, I wasn't
my
doing shit.
God.
And it's funny because like this like kind of pattern. I'm gonna expose myself a little bit, but this kind of pattern still like comes back. I don't do shit, and like girls like. I don't want to like have an ego or like have this like standard that I'm like, oh, like the shit either, but like. I'll just have a normal ass conversation. I'll be like asking, I was like, oh, like what you do today? Like how was like moving into your apartment? And it was like, oh, like it's been good, blah, blah, blah. You should come by sometime. I'll make you dinner. I'm like, what? And then
HANMIN pulls.
dude,
HANMIN pulls.
the very recent one, I'm
Taking notes.
hopefully she doesn't see this because she actually follows me. But so I have a puppy. She's like a year and a half years old, and like I fly so much.
Yeah.
Like and sometimes my friends can't watch her, so I have like a dog sitter through like the Rover app, and I'm spending all this money because I travel like every 2-3 weeks. But like the one I usually go to, she got very expensive because I had to be gone for 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, let me find another one. So I found this other one. It was like between like her and like this older girl. I was like, this girl kind of looks cute. All I see is like a little profile picture. And obviously I'm like reading the reviews. So I got to make sure my dog's going to be okay too.
Yeah.
So I bring her, like this other guy's like dropping his dog off at the same time. And I meet her. So she's like this Russian girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I see her. I'm like, oh, she's kind of cute. And then she's just asking us like about like our dogs for a little bit just to get like warmed up to them and stuff. And then literally that same night, I drop my dog off. I come back and I get a message from her on the app, be like, hey, do you think I can like call you or whatever? Because like she's trying to figure out how to take the leash off because I have like a choke collar on her. I was like, yeah, just let me, like, what do you need help? She's like, oh, can I like FaceTime you? So I was like, I gave her my number, and she's like texting me. She's like, I think I like sent a video, be like, what the fuck are you gonna FaceTime me? Like I sent a video on like how to take it out, but I guess she already figured it out, so she didn't FaceTime me. So it was like this back and forth. Like that's when I went to Peru, and I was like obviously asking her like, how's my dog, all this stuff. She'll like send pictures, and then one time she actually sent pictures. There's like a picture of her. It's a selfie with my dog to the side.
I wish you were here.
HANMIN got a nude.
Dude.
With the dog in there.
With the dog in
Can
the
you
back.
imagine? So I'm like, this is very intentional.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is going on? So like, we're just obviously I'm still in Peru. We're talking whatever, and then I'm asking her questions like, have you been in LA for a while? All this stuff, and then they were going back and forth, and like she's like, do you travel for work? I'm like, yeah, like 80% of the time. And she's like, what do you do? I was like, I'm a videographer, photographer. And she's like, oh no way, same. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
But I think she like models a little bit more. She's been on all like people's like music videos and like production sets.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is very interesting. And then fast forward to the end of the trip, I was like, I'm coming back on the 15th, whatever. Like I can pick up my dog around this time. And she's like, okay, like cool, that works. And then she goes, so I have like 3 options. I'm like, what the fuck? But she goes, I'm staying at a friend's house that's closer to the airport. So I can either drop your dog off at the airport with you if you have your car, or if you want to pick her up from my friend's house, or just pick her up from my place. I was like, it's probably better just to pick her up at your place because I have to go get my car and your place is closer to mine anyways. She's like, okay, that works. And then a few hours later, she's like, I don't know if this is appropriate, but she's like, I can come pick you up and I can drop you off like with your dog. So
Where are these women? What? Hey, fuck Tinder. We got to go on Rover. Fuck that app.
Rover's the
Fuck
dating app.
Tinder.
Rover. That's what LinkedIn is.
Fuck.
LinkedIn is also a dating app.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, she actually picked. She was like, I was like, yeah, like if you want to come pick me up, if that works for you, I feel bad if like for you driving like back and forth because like our place like our area is like almost like an hour away from the airport, so she's gonna drive an hour to me and drive an hour back just to come all the way back. So like we live in Northridge, right?
Yeah.
She was staying at a friend's place in Venice, and like she was gonna go all the way back to Northridge, or like come get me from LAX, go all the way back to Northridge, and then go all the way to Venice. So she picked me up.
Oh, you said yes.
Yeah, I said yes.
Of course you said yes.
They didn't think she was actually going to do it.
Wants to, she'll make it known.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story here.
Our car ride back was an hour and a half because of traffic.
Oh my god.
So we just talked the whole time, got kind of like her life
still talk to
story.
her?
I haven't really much, but like she's like even like when she was like watching me my dog, she's like, "Oh, I need to come see her, all this stuff. I don't want to give her back." I'm like, so she brought me back to my place. She helped me bring my stuff on. She came in for a little bit, but I mean, I was like, "Yeah, see ya." I gave her a hug, but it's fun. I don't know, like I was kind of like paying attention to what she was wearing too. Like I don't know if this like girls, you can tell me any different, but like she was wearing very like a lacy bra, and like, you could see it. So I was like, I don't know.
Damn.
I'm not like a hookup guy or like shit like that, so I don't know.
Oh, you're a fellow lover.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking lover boys. Jesus. I can't stand you.
Why are you a fuckboy?
Fuck yeah. Fuck girls.
This guy is the guy to have his camera. That's his Riz right there. Like, can I take pictures of you? And then-
That's all
I used to do
photographers.
that. Yeah,
Bro,
I
that's
used to
all
do that.
photographers. That's like such an easy in. Like,
I'm gonna expose myself here again. My go-to used to be like, I would love to shoot you with you sometime.
Yeah.
And then like that's how like I would like
classic
slide
Johnny.
in.
bro, that's how you start the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, because think about it. Like, girls don't want to be approached in the gym. You're a fucking weirdo if you approach them in the gym or like anywhere. Like, it's just easy. Like, start a conversation and then cool. If it flows from somewhere, then yeah. Then I don't have to like go up and be a weirdo.
I mean, I've showed you, but this is how I approach women.
Hey.
You don't.
I don't.
I don't either. That's the thing. I don't either. And they just like it's like this, like you said, outspoken Riz or unspoken Riz. I'm like, I don't get it. And I've had that like
It's the confidence, bro. You just gotta
It
be.
is.
You just gotta be
1000%
like roll your
confidence.
shoulders back, walk, and be at that platinum level.
Huh?
damn.
This is the best podcast ever.
really
I don't know
is.
what's gonna live in here. What's
Dude,
not.
the amount of like different sides of things we've got.
We started very creator centric, and it just
Yeah.
escalated very quickly into
Telling you,
Relationship.
go into the
Clout.
relationship side.
relationship, clout, Instagram. It just like wild. I think we should wrap up unless you guys want to talk about anything else before
I
we
can
do.
talk about a lot of things, but we can save that for a part
Can we
two.
can we talk about the state of the world and the
State of the
economics?
economics of the economy.
Jaden Smith. I don't want to hang out with you. I want to talk about the state of the world.
Hey, we can do that. We're gonna wrap up the pod. Thank you guys for watching and sticking around. Thank you, HANMIN, for letting us take time out of your day.
you.
Obviously, we have a lot of different cameras shutting off and batteries dying and all that stuff. This is literally just us running it. So Hopefully it comes out good. We appreciate you. We love you guys. Share the pod, and we'll catch you in the next one.
What?